This be my love, so don't give away my love, so don't give away my love, so don't give away. Ain't another woman that can take your spot, my love.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back again with another video. As you can see from the title of this video, things nobody tells you about healing. Yeah, so it's just a quick one. I feel like I'm always saying that, it's just a quick one, but yeah, you know me, I like to keep it short and sweet. A quick disclaimer, guys, I just want to apologize. I know I look a little bit like a mess, but I just finished work. I'm at a very busy period right now at work. Like, it's just a busy period, so yeah, and it's like 10 p.m. or something like that. But I just thought, before I kind of settle down for bed, let me just do a quick video. And to be honest, this topic, like this idea for this video, literally just came on a whim, like over the weekend. It's Monday right now, anyway, over the weekend I was just having a think about, what video, what should my next topic be? And for some reason I just thought, yeah, things nobody tells you about healing, because I feel like me personally, I'm on my healing journey. I'm on a healing journey, and these are things I'm kind of figuring out, and these are things I've kind of researched that nobody actually really tells you about healing. So yeah, I've got pretty much 5 points to kind of share with you guys today. So once again, I've just got my notepad here, so I'm just going to be looking down. So yeah, so let's just get into it. So first one, no one talks about how lonely healing is, and this is something that I have very much discovered. Yeah, healing is lonely, and I say lonely in terms of, as you're healing and you're going through this journey, it's like all your old ways are kind of coming to an end. And that means friends, locations, you know, things you used to enjoy, people you actually used to maybe associate yourself with or speak to, or whatever the case may be. I don't know, that just kind of dies down, and then it kind of leaves you in this very lonely kind of atmosphere, lonely kind of environment, and not by choice, but just because you're on this journey, on this healing journey, and just certain things you just have to put to rest, you got to put to bed, you got to let it go, you got to make peace with it and like keep it moving. And you know, that could be quite lonely, because you know, it's things like I said, you know, people you used to hang around with, or places you used to go, you can't go there anymore, you can't hang around with those people, which will leave you kind of like at home, you know, kind of just figuring it out and doing you, but just, yeah, spending a lot of alone time. That's one. And it could also be family, to be honest, even family as well, you know. Yeah, so that was number one. So number two, which is kind of linked with number one, this is your bonds and connections with others begin to change. And I think your bonds and connections with others, whether it's family, boyfriend, friends, like your BFF, like your ride or die, whatever the case may be, I think sometimes a lot of people during their healing journey, they experience this, where that connection or that bond that you used to have with a certain person, no matter how close you are, kind of changes, just because, I don't know, you're kind of on this journey and you're figuring out so much new things, and you're putting so much different things to rest and to bed. And it's like, I don't know, I think almost like, you know, the connections and the bonds that you have with people around you is kind of tested in a way when you're healing. Yeah, this is something I think I'm personally finding out. But the good thing about this, it's not so depressing. I feel like new connections are also like replaced. Let's say, you know, you're one of those people that during your healing process, you genuinely do lose people. Like, not just that the bond and connection is shaken up a bit and then it's fine, which is great, but there is certain people that do actually lose certain bonds and connections with their loved and close friends, close people. But the good thing about this is that those connections and bonds are replaced by new connections and new bonds with other people that fit more with your healing journey and with the healed you. And that's the thing, yeah, just remember that actually. And usually those connections and those bonds are usually shaken, or they come to an end because those people in your life, no matter how close you are, again, it doesn't matter, those people in your life kind of benefited from the unhealed you. So when you're kind of, your self-esteem is coming, is kind of being heightened, and you're building that self-esteem, that might shake up a few connections and a few bonds, because some people were just used to maybe you having low self-esteem, and they, were kind of feeding on that, in their own way, in their own right, whatever the case may be. But then that kind of links with point 3, moving on to point 3, boundaries. And this is usually because, once again, why those bonds and connections are kind of shaken up, or they kind of disintegrate, come to an end, is because I think when you're healing, you start to set boundaries for yourself, don't you? You start kind of realizing red flags, red flags in relationships, friendships, just even family, just in general. You start realizing that actually this is wrong, or that's not right, and I'm going to put a boundary now with this person, or with this, or whatever. Like you expect more from people, and you just expect more for yourself. So you start putting up these boundaries of, look, this is me, A, B, C, D, and if you can't match up to this vibe or energy or whatever, then see you later. And once again, that will apply to everyone around you, no matter how close you are. And I think that also shakes up bonds and connections. So that's 3. And then 4 is how messy it can be. So yeah, I think healing, no one tells you how messy healing can be. Like literally, you can literally have feeling of like grief, a lot of crying. And I think it's because, it's that whole, certain things are coming to an end, and you're just kind of shedding your old ways, you're shedding old skin, what I mean? Like you're bringing certain things to a close, and new things, coming to be apparent in your life. So I think that comes with a lot of emotion. It could be a messy, high and low. So one day, you could be really happy, like, oh yeah, this healing process is really going good. And then the next day, you're literally shambolic, you're crying, you feel grief. And I think you're grieving the old you, you're grieving those bonds and connections, you're grieving those places that you felt comfortable and familiar with, because you're letting it go slowly. As much as you don't want to, you can feel it kind of ripping apart. Yeah. And also, like, I think this is something that I realized as well during my healing process, healing journey. Like, I think, you just kind of realize how much you were built on certain things that weren't actually right. And I think it's also that grief of like, oh wow. And that self-doubt as well, like, what have I been doing all my life? Have I been doing this life thing right? Like, I thought this was right and it's actually not. And so it's that grief of you literally grieving your old life, grieving the old you. And it can be messy, and it can be high, low, some days are good, some days aren't good. So yeah, it can be very messy. And then number 5, and this is another messy one, I think, but forgiving yourself. The thing with healing is you really, really have to learn to forgive yourself. You cannot beat yourself up. When you're coming to that realization, and you're letting certain people and certain things go, that realization of, oh my gosh, I really put myself through a lot of shit. I really kind of put up with a lot of shit from a lot of people. I put myself in situations that I genuinely had no business being in. And then it's like that anger towards yourself as well. You start not trusting yourself as well, people around you, but also yourself. You don't trust yourself. You're angry with yourself for kind of just doing that, or dealing with whatever the case may be. So I think that is the final one. I would say you really have to learn to forgive yourself during your healing process. When you're coming to every day, and you're realizing, because I think sometimes as well, we do play a part in our pain and in our suffering. So just forgive yourself, man. Like, just you didn't know any better. Literally, like, I was watching something and it was like, don't be so hard on yourself sometimes, you know, for what you put up with in your past. You did not know any better, and when you know better, you do better, right? But at that point, forgive yourself and say, I never knew better. You know, let's move on. So yeah, that's my final one, really. So this is what I'm figuring out. This is what nobody really talks about. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Once again, it's another quick one. I'm very tired. I want to go to bed. So yeah, I just wanted to drop this little gem for you guys, because when I kind of figured these things out, I don't know, it kind of brought a sense of like relief, like, okay, cool, let's continue, like let's carry on with this journey. So yeah, but anyway guys, peace and love.